Sam, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to play I Will Follow You to Virgie by Tyler Childers. And first thing you got to do is make sure you're in standard tuning, and we have a capo on the 4th fret. And if you haven't used a capo before, you just act like the capo is the string nut up here, and now that's the open string. This is the 1st fret, 2nd, 3rd, and so on. So you play your chords just like you would normally do on open. So the song is in the key of G if you have the capo, but without the capo it's the key of B. So we're just going to put our capo on the 4th, and that way we can play G chords and be in the key of B major. And that's what's cool about a capo. You can move it around and be in a lot of different keys without having to play the tricky chords like bar chords and stuff. So it starts out the song has this kind of rhythm to it. And that's really the key of the song right there. We'll talk about the chords in a second, but I want to start off talking about the strum pattern. That's really the tricky part, is getting that timing right and the picking. So you're doing that strum picking thing I always talk about, which is in a lot of red dirt country and folk and a lot of country music and stuff like that. That kind of sound to it. So that what you're doing is you're strumming the rhythm, but you're actually picking the bass notes and all the little fills that I'm doing in there, like the little Zeppelin kind of sounding stuff. And so it takes a little practice. You got to get used to the feel of the strings, but you want to be able to pick a string while you're strumming. And that's kind of difficult, especially at faster tempos. So we can simplify this going. You just go down, down, down. Basically what you're doing is you're counting 16th notes. And for those who don't know 16th note music, when you're counting the measures and the tempo, if a song is in 4/4 like this one, you're going to be counting to 4 each time slowly in what they call quarter notes, which is splitting up a measure into beats. So a measure has 4 beats in 4/4. So we're going to be counting 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can divide that up and actually what they do 8th notes, which is counting what they use and in between the 1s and 2, 3, and 4, all the numbers. So you're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then you can break it down even more and do 16th notes. This is what we're going to be doing for the song. I'll Follow You to Virgie. You're going to be going 1 E and 2 E and so you're adding E and with the and that makes it to where it's going splitting it up into 16 total beats in one measure. So it's basic basic, I don't even remember what that's called, division, I guess, fractions. It's basic fractions. So you're going to be dividing it of a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and we're actually going to take you're going to take the E out of it, and that's the rhythm that you're going to get for this song. And it's also a lot of country songs have this feel. It's 1 E, it's 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and. So 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and you're taking out the E. If you added the E, it would just be 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a that kind of sound. But you're going to take the E out, and that gives you, I don't remember exactly what BPM this song is. I'll include it in the description or show it in the end or something after I edit. But so without doing all the special kind of fills and stuff, and without all the bass line and everything, let's just strum those chords and make it simple, going 1 and 2. And just break it down in each number. Do 1 first. 1 and 2 and 3. So just do the 1 and then do 2 and space it out 3 and then 4 and then try to work it all together by putting it into one phrase. So 1 and so I'm going down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. I'm going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3. So every single time I do that same strum pattern, and before we add the bass notes and the lead stuff, just practice strumming all the strings like that. And what really makes it stick out though and have some rhythm and feel to it and gets in the groove is when you put an accent on the numbers. When you're counting 1 and 2 and 3, every time that you hear a number, you want to be strumming down and having a slightly louder sound than all the other strums. It's kind of like what a drummer does, you know, they hit the accents, they hit the drum harder, but then they can do what they call ghost notes behind that and have the accents and hit softer notes around the accents and make it sound really cool and interesting. And that makes it just sound not a little bit more musical as opposed to just hitting something with a stick, you know, it actually makes it an art form. So you can palm mute it and close it up like that even. That's what he does in the verses. You gotta get quieter, just like a drummer does. With the hi-hats and the ride cymbal. Then I open my hi-hats a little bit. Start building. And the crash cymbal. So you get the point. That's kind of what you want to do on the acoustic guitar when you're playing rhythm acoustic, is you want to do what the drummer does and kind of open up when he opens up and kind of keep a tight sound when he's closing up on the hi-hats and gets a little quieter and just kind of gives a dynamic musical feel to the song for the acoustic player to play exactly in sync with what the drummer's doing. And so that can really help. But just to get back to the song, we're going to be going to G and C pretty much the entire song until he gets at the end, he play a D. At the end of the first chorus, or all the choruses, he plays a D at the very I can see you through the pines. That's pretty much the entire song. So with the chords and the strum pattern, I'm going to go slow. It's going to be going to have a whole bar on the first chord, on the first chord on G. So right here, you're going to count 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and that's going to be an entire, that's the whole time you hold G, and then you switch chords on the second bar. So a bar is just 4 beats, you know, a measuring bar is the same thing. So the first 2 bars of the song, we're going to G and C. So bar 1's 1, 2, and a 3, 4, bar 2, C, back to G, and then to C. That's the whole song. He's switching. There's a bar for each chord. kind of doing exactly what the bass player's doing, the drummer's doing, and kind of the lead player too, but by doing that kind of stuff and adding fills. So you're pretty much, that's why acoustic guitar is such a popular instrument with country artists and a lot of songwriters, because so you can play all parts of the band, you know, and get away with sound with one person, and the singer just playing the acoustic in a proper technique in a proper way can make you sound really, really big, like you have a whole band if you're good. So the next part on the chorus, you're gonna have a D chord. It goes G C G C, and then they go to D when he says, "I can see you through the pine." Okay, here's the intro to "I'll Follow You to Virgie" by Tyler Childers. You're going to start with a G, cowboy G chord with 3 fingers with the capo on the 4th fret, and it's going to be on your middle finger on the 3rd or the 7th fret, because with the capo it makes it the 3rd fret, but it's really the 7th, but I'll just say it like it's without a capo. So yeah, so the ring finger you're going to put on the 3rd fret of the low E string, and then we have middle finger on the A string on the 2nd fret, and then an open D, an open G, open B, and then our pinky goes on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Sounds a lot different from doing that G chord that everybody plays with a box G chord or whatever, G sus, add 9 or whatever you want to call it. But we're just going to be doing the 3-finger G chord like this as the B string ringing open. But what you're going to do is you're going to start with the open A string, and you're going to hammer on your middle finger. See how I did that? And you're going to be strumming the whole time you're doing that, because the whole intro he's going. See, with the strumming of the chord, you're going to have. So right there, it's pretty much the whole song. He kind of ad-libs every time on that. When he gets to that C chord, he kind of does different things throughout the song, the live version and on the album version. He kind of does random ones there as ad-libbing to fill it in, but I'll just show you just a couple right here. So what you're going to do, the hard part about this is you're picking. To really pay close attention and articulate that A string, and it's kind of hard to do when you're strumming, so you're just gonna have to. So I'm going strum. I'm gonna pick the low E string first, and then I pick the A string and hammer on. So, and when I pick that A string, I'm actually going to strum the entire chord as I'm hammering on to the 2nd fret. So if you listen, I'm going to actually do a really sharp upstroke on the chord. So I'm going picking the low E string first. So pick low E string, and then I'm going to strum all the way down as I'm hammering onto the open A string to the 2nd fret of the A string with my middle finger. And right after I strum down, I'm going to be doing a sharp upstroke. So it's like. That's the whole idea right there. Goal is you're going up, down, up, down, up, down. But every time I'm doing up, I'm going to take my middle finger off of the A string on the 2nd fret to do open. And then when I go back down is when I'm hammering on the with my middle finger on the second fret of the A string. So it's like. And then I'm gonna walk up to the C. I'm gonna go E string on the third fret, open A string, middle finger on the second fret of the A string, and then ring finger on the third fret of the A string, and then we're going to play a C chord, but with a hammer on our middle finger, open D string to the second fret of the D string, just like we did on G. Do it really slow. Ready? Goes. So I'm just kind of ad-libbing when I get to that to the C chord. He actually does like a. He does that one little lick that's really cool that reminds me of Over the Hills and the Far Away by Led Zeppelin, but it's a lot of middle finger work and a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. It'll be a good exercise for both advanced and intermediate players. It's cool to do those kind of open hammer-ons and pull-offs while you're strumming a chord. Like, just sounds really cool. So just kind of does different things every time. Creative in just any kind of combination of the open D string and the open G and the second fret, and just combining hammer-ons and pull-offs in any combo you want, as long as you get the. Remember, the strum pattern is like down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down. And you're going to be counting. There's a measure on each chord, so 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And those callous hands and all that work. Or whatever he sings there. That's the intro to I'll Follow You to Virgie.